Okay, and there we are live. Good day and welcome back to another episode of the Air Force podcast. My name is Jaco and today we've got Sisanda Mdledle with us. Welcome, Sisanda. Thanks a lot for being here today.
Thank you so much, Yaku. It's a privilege and a pleasure to be with you and your audience today. Looking
Uh,
forward.
Sisanda, you have a company and what you do is you provide debt counseling, credit counseling, you give a bit of financial advice, help with budgeting. Um, tell me more about what you're doing and how did you get into that what you're doing?
Oh, all right. So, our name, the name of the company itself is Turning Point Debt Advisory. And I really got into it during the COVID times. We experienced some salary cuts and some things that we were unprepared for were happening. So, loving to research, looking to the solutions that are out there, what is out there, what can one do, to relieve what we are going through. I found a couple of services, but for me, they were not enough. They were not enough. So, a couple of years back, the South African government gazetted that people that are overly indebted can apply for debt counseling services. So what that looks like is if, let's say, I can't pay that amount anymore, they negotiate lower payment terms, which is great and provides immediate relief, Yaku. But what I saw is it's beyond that. It's beyond, like, it goes beyond than just paying lower payment terms. It's my mindset, it's my frameworks, it's how I view money, how I engage with money, what I was taught as a child, the traumas that I still carry around money. So, doing a bit of work outside of that, I saw that it was more holistic and I was able to transition from the place where I was to where I am today. So that's how we came into existence.
Okay, and what is the services that you offer? You provide credit counseling, you help people with budget, you give a bit of financial education as well. Please tell me about everything that you are doing now.
So we have a whole process and the whole user journey that we take our clients through. So if someone were to onboard today, we would look, where are you and how did you get here? Do you understand how you got here? And then we would unpack, what are your spending habits, by looking at your data. Because sometimes I'm just swiping a card, but I can't tell that actually it's the McDonald's that I love so much that's taking my money. So uncovering those insights that are there, marrying those insights with your traumas. Okay, what kind of spender are you? Are you mindful? Are you a bit anxious or emotional when you go spending? And then moving from that, understanding your debt. What is there? How do we prioritize and strategize in paying that debt off? Because what we've seen is people do want to save. People do know about wealth and want to create that wealth, but they are stuck. So what happens is they would take a policy of savings for 4 months, abort it and dip into it because they need it again. But now we can't build that wealth sustainably if we are still stuck in the loops and the habits that we are unaware of. So paying off those debts and then linking the person up, with that financial advice. How do we now move from this point where we are? How do we turn and create that wealth more sustainably? By increasing also your financial literacy, your awareness, as well as your budgeting skills. So that's, yeah, what we do.
Okay, and what do you think is the most common financial challenges that people face these days?
For me, really, I feel like it's planning literacy. We are not equipped and we do not fully understand the rising, the repo rates that change, that are dynamic, how they affect us. And what happens is, this is what I budget, and tomorrow the petrol, prices are rising up. Just that slight difference throws me over. We don't plan, let's say, for unforeseen events like funerals, emergency, and stuff. Just that one event throws me under the bus. So we need to be at a place where we take a step back, plan properly what could happen financially. What do I need to understand? what do I need to do to be better equipped and proof so that whatever storm comes, I'm still safe with my family.
Okay. And then, what do you say? How should we approach that kind of situation? So, should you put something in a better way every month? Should we maybe put it in one of those piggy banks, a bit of money? What is the kind of general approach that you would take for saving a bit or for putting a bit of money away for unforeseen circumstances?
Oh, okay. So, as I think, as I've mentioned before, that people do want to save,
Mm,
but now
mm,
it's a struggle because they're at that point, they are neck high with debts and all of that. So, what I'll do is at points where, let's say, I do get maybe that bonus, buy things maybe for 5 months ahead that I wouldn't normally buy, like groceries that maybe, little things
mm,
like your soaps just for 10 months. And then I know I've freed up monthly money that can now be used to save at a fixed deposit that I cannot tap into whenever I feel like. Or if I do feel like I need a savings pot that is accessible, there are things outside there like Stash from Liberty. You can download the app, you can store 20 Rand a day. So getting into that habit and that culture of saving. But then again, if you don't understand or if you don't see money as a resource, you are going to interrupt that process of seeding and harvesting. I don't know if I'm
okay,
making
and
sense. That's where the
you're,
trick
yes,
is for
definitely.
me.
Uh,
That's
th-
where the trick
and
is for me. Sorry
why do
to
you think
cut you there.
people kind no? Why do you think people kind of lack the financial knowledge, the financial literacy? What do you think is the main cause or the main reason for that?
There's a gap, Yaku, because we were never taught these principles at school. We were taught
Mm,
business economics, we were taught ledgers, we were taught all these other things. So now, I go to varsity, I'm excited, I get my first pay slip, and the first thing I'm introduced to is debt. Do you want a store card, Sisanda? Do you want a credit card? And I'm like, oh, this life. But then going into it, like, in a long run, you see how you could have used that money wiser. So it's lack of understanding, lack of education, and it is our responsibility to teach the generations that are coming behind us so that they are not in the same positions.
mm.
Mm.
Okay. And when somebody comes to you, what is generally the process that you follow? So somebody comes to you with some kind of problem. So they maybe have a bit of debt. They want to improve their credit score. Maybe what is the process that you follow from them contacting you, getting into the office, or yeah. What do you think, or what do you do?
All right. So the problems are different and the needs are different. So the first thing that I do is okay, from the user side, their journey is they contact us, they send a WhatsApp, this is where I am. A judgment was issued against me in my absence, and now I can't apply for further credit, I'm stuck. And on our side is every time a need comes through, we sit with the user to understand, okay, where are we? How did we get here? And then we look into our tools. What can we thread together for you to assist you? I'll give an example. There's a customer that we are dealing with. The customer owed a certain amount of money and then that they couldn't pay. So a judgment was issued that, okay, now she's not paying, repossess, go into her house, take her furniture, auction it, etc. But now the issue is in the people that are collecting, they did not follow the due process. So that is the standing leg of the customer now to say that no, you did not follow the process. The process is you need to summon me to court. I need to say, okay, I'm going to defend or arrange payment terms. And then, we prevent these type of things from happening. So now, yeah, the needs are dynamic, and according to the needs, we customize something to assist them to move forward.
Okay. And there's obviously now a lot of legal things that you have to get past. As you said with the repositioning, there's a lot of things, a lot of paperwork, a lot of I would say, admin and a lot of laws that you have to get past to achieve certain goals. How important is it to comply with those laws, and how difficult is it to adhere to each and every law that there are?
For me, again, I saw as the clients are coming in, I see a knowledge gap because the laws
Mm,
are there and they have been set by the National Credit Regulator, and there are consumer protection laws that say no, you cannot just treat a consumer like this. This is the process that you must follow. So it's important, as a service provider, to understand and know the laws, around consumer, around trading, mercantile law, and all of those things. Because when I see unfairness, I can say, oh, okay, no, Yaku, they did not follow the process here. We can go and appeal.
okay.
So, just to also add, there is a course I did through the University of Pretoria that is called National Credit, Regulation. So it just expands on the laws that are around if you receive a summon, 10 business days reply, sort of things. And yeah, the entire language is there.
Oh, okay. And what kind of options do you provide for individuals struggling with debt? What are your business options that you can provide?
Oh, all right. So as I was saying, there's many debt counselors, in the industry, and what they would normally do, not to speak badly, they would just normally put you in the process. There are some people who really don't need the debt review process, who don't
Mm,
need negotiations, but they just need to manage their money better.
mm,
So, for someone, it would be improving their budgeting skills. For someone, it would be going through the debt counseling process. For someone, it would be just healing, having those conversations of how do you view money? How do you use money? I'll give an example. For me, for the longest time, until I healed, I did not know this, that I used my money to buy acceptance. Acceptance because, when I was younger, I experienced a lot of rejection. So everything that I do and everything that I am today is linked to my core. So if I'm going to be spending money from that place, I'm going to be spending money from a place of brokenness. So by me healing now, I can spend more mindfully to say, okay, no, I don't need to do this for that person. Okay, no, I can be generous, but this is my boundary. This is my limit. Yes, I can assist at home, back home, but not with everything, to a point where I'm left with nothing for the sake of, Yaku helped us out. So there are a lot of things and a lot of dynamics that go on around it.
okay. And what kind of success stories do you have from people that have gone through your process and have, I would say, turned their financial life around, got out of the debt or improved their credit score a lot? Do you have any stories for us?
Yes, definitely. We have a lot of people that have improved their credit scores because now they understand that there are factors that affect their credit scores, like paying your credit, on time, maybe also paying above, the minimum payment to kill the interest rate, and to making that due diligence of checking your report. Are they updating? Because some people do pay, but when you go to the credit report, you see that no one cares to update. So it looks like for the past 9 months, Yakut didn't make a payment. So making those follow-ups with the creditors, etc. We have seen people, whose real estates have been held up, because of they were taking too much long, and then we were able to assist and engage, with the bank to say, okay, what's taking so long? This person needs their money. It's been 3 years now, and things are expedited. We have cases of people who have faced judgments, but the processes were not followed by the debt collectors. Therefore, now they are able to reverse those properties, and their furnitures are still in their homes. Even though, there were declarations that go and take everything that they owe. There are people that are now aware of debt and are easing up to the conversations around money, because there are many emotions that are attached to money. If I'm not handling my money well, I'm going to be ashamed, I'm going to be embarrassed. So hence, even in our platform, we are looking at ways to make the conversation normal, because there's no way we are going to improve if we are going to hide everything because we want to look good on Instagram, etc. So normalizing the conversations, yeah, we've seen a lot of improvement and ease and assistance in people's lives and clients.
Okay, and how important do you think that kind of image that you put out to the world is? And what kind of negative effect does that have on people's financial advice and rather their financial problems and their financial health? Because everybody wants to look a certain way, be a certain way, be perceived to be that. What's your opinion on that?
Okay, this is where I'm just gonna come in and just say I'm a believer. I believe in God, so I read the word of I read
Mm,
the word of a lot. So in the book of Proverbs, God speaks about there are people that want to look rich but they're not.
mm,
So for me is I see a friend in Cape Town, and I'm like, oh, sure, they went to Cape Town, and now I want to rush and do the same thing instead of staying in my own lane, staying true and authentic to who I am and my finances. My finances are not allowing me right now to go to London. Let me be faithful and true to that. So we live and make decisions out of pressure, out of competition, out of fear of I don't want to be left behind or come across as poor, you know. So there's a lot of things that are attached to it. So it needs really wisdom to say that no, I don't need to be fleshy. I don't need to be to show off. All I need is to create the wealth, you know, and the wealth for my children's children so that they don't have to go through the same things that I went through. So they are much more bigger and important things. So as a
mm,
generation, we need to mature from those false perceptions, false pictures. Hey, like my page, you know, you go beyond who you are, you go beyond yourself for the sake of money. So yeah, I think for me it needs wisdom and it's something we need to move away from and to just stick to our lanes and stay true to our plans that we have for
uh,
ourselves.
okay, and what kind of tools do you have to help people manage their finances?
All right. So there's a tool that we just created right now. It's called the Smart Spender. We uploaded it on
Mm,
Etsy, which is a global shop where people can access it. So what
mm,
Smart Spender does is just tabs of spreadsheets that help you input your goals, that help you understand your financial calendar. Because another thing that we do is we just plan abruptly. But if you understand that as Yaku, I normally spend a lot of money around December. So you
mm,
channel your savings according to your financial calendar. We have a tab like the retail analysis. Oh, okay. We're not saying don't go shopping. We're not saying don't have go have your coffee or your beer. But now understand that retailers do consumer behavior analysis to see,
mm,
oh, okay, all of you like shopping around the 25. We're inflating the prices. Why can't you do the same? I like going to the Irene farm. So I place Irene farm there to take my kids there. But I know and understand that Irene farm on Mondays, 2 kids eat for free. So I'm saving. Money is coming back on my pocket. So
mm,
now analyzing your retail patterns, where you like going, how you can leverage your spending to a point where you know that August, the season is changing. It is the perfect time to buy winter clothes. You want to look good in December? Wait for the December season to finish because January, the prices are really low. So there are a lot of things that go on in that. And then we have
mm,
the debt payoff tracker. And the debt payoff tracker, what it's all about, it's saying, okay, this is the list of debt, but now how do we pay this debt in a smart way? What's most important and what strategies can we apply to make sure that, okay, we eradicate the debt? And as we eradicate the debt, what needs to be done? So that's a smart spender. It's just basically a spreadsheet one can sit with, engage with, ask those important questions, make those analysis. And there's a budgeting tab there to say that this is what you budget every month. But you know, you're leaving behind your living expenses because your actuals look like something else. Oh, okay, going forward. I see that this is a trend now for 3 months. Going forward, how do I put in my steers there? How do I put in, you know, so that I'm covered. So there's a lot of things, and obviously a lot of thought that went into it. So because I'm besides the company, I am still working as a senior advisor information technology. So I just try to incorporate those analytics tools to assist people.
Okay. So you're obviously good with the technology and good with the trends in the technology. How would you say the technology has changed and that you can use technology to empower people and to help people with their financial goals and their financial dreams?
100%. I love your question, Yaku, because what we see is we see a lot of organizations and a lot of people in companies and corporates using and leveraging the power of technology, but we don't take the same tools and apply it in our lives in a way that could better us, like tools like data science or data management, where you can sit with your financial data, analyze it, understand it, unpack it, because there's hidden insights there that you're not aware of. And being mindful of those insights cause you to course correct or cause you to say, okay, no, actually, I've been doing well. Let me just continue doing well. So that is the power of technology. It allows us to read quicker, faster, understand our data and understand ourselves in a way that we can improve and make those adjustments.
Okay. And then there's obviously a lot of people that that misuse, I would say, the technology and misuse the advantages with technology. Would you approach that?
For me, I'd say you must just stick within your boundaries. Understand what, first, you must understand the goal. What do I want to get out of this technology? What is the purpose of me having this app? What is the purpose of me having this sheet? Am I just downloading every other thing that is in the app store? So it's about being strategic with it and engaging with technology in a healthy way, but not in a harmful way where now you don't understand what's going on, even if you don't see the value in it anymore. So I think, yeah, people need to learn to engage with technology
Okay.
in a healthier way.
Okay. And I've seen some of your services that you provide. One of them is an affordability assessment. So what
Hmm.
exactly is an affordability assessment?
So currently, right now, if someone goes to apply for, let's say, a home loan at the
Mhm.
bank, so what they would do is they would just see, oh, okay, Sisanda, these are the bills that you have to take care of, and we do an affordability assessment based on that. Can you
Mhm.
afford? Can you afford to pay back our loan? Yes or no? But they don't go a level deeper because a real affordability assessment would say, oh, okay, I'm going to be paying back this loan. But now, what are the levies that I'm introduced to? What are the municipal bills? What is the petrol now that I need to incur because now I chose to stay in Mooikloof and I work in Midrand? So there's a lot of things that, or calculations that we miss because we are just interested in the approval process. And then we get back, you get into your new house and you're like, this is the water bill, throws you under the bus, right? So we do like real affordability analysis. Can you qualify? Do you afford this house that you're looking for? Yeah.
Okay. And then how do you do that? How do you gather all of that information from people? As you said, the municipality accounts, all of the bills, the petrol accounts, all of that. How do you gather that? How do you get that information from your customers and your clients?
So you sit down with with the client. There's also tools
Mhm.
like the property 24 where you can say, okay, houses around this area for the past 3 years have been selling at this value. These are the municipal rates that the person would have to sell. Also, if let's say they're interested in a certain house, I'd say ask the real estate agent, what are the levies there? And then we sit with them and say, okay, where are you working, Yako? You're working in Midrand. So now you want to move from Centurion to Mooikloof. How much more petrol will that cost you? You know, and then we do those calculations together with the consumer. And obviously the spreadsheets are also pre-populated with some formulas, but it's just basically, yeah, nothing. um, um, it's not rocket science, but it's just understanding that, okay, petrol to megawatt park costs me 150 a day, but now I'm moving 30 kilometers away. It's going to be 300 Rand a day.
Okay.
So can I afford to make those changes? Yes or no? Do I really afford to move?
Okay. And then the thing a lot of people think of credit and your debt is a credit score. That's a lot, and a lot of people advertise it, get your credit score, improve your credit score. So what exactly is that credit score? How do you, what is that? What is it made of? What does it consist of?
So basically, a credit score compromises of your history, all the store accounts you've opened, all the credits, the loans, personal, whether it's big, it's small loans. It compromises of your history. It also compromises of your behavior, like the type of payments you've made in the past. So if you skip, let's say, 5 months and not paying, they would then change the categories. The categories. There's a categorization system that says, okay, this person you can give credit, they are low risk. This one, Sisanda, is a medium risk. But Yaku is a high risk, and that's why you get some people being declined and whatnot. So also our mindset of why do we want to improve our credit scores? It's not because we want the people to get into more debt, but we want them to be positioned in a better place should they want to make those big purchases that they can't really afford, like a
Right.
car or a house. So, yes, the scoring is now how you have paid, how in the past, how you have showed up, were you on time, were you paying the right amounts, etc.
Okay. And obviously, I've heard of a few examples where people's credit score was incorrectly assessed, and um, that I don't know, it just wasn't, I would say, correct. And how do you dispute that? How do you go through the process of saying, okay, this cannot be true, that's not how it's going to work, and to rectify the error that was made?
You see, now it's because many institutions use different credit bureau systems. Credit bureau
Mm,
systems are the systems that contain the information of the credit history. So you find that as you're making the payments, the people that are supposed to be updating, the creditors that are meant to be updating the credit bureau are not doing that. So the rectification process would be approaching company X and saying, okay, I've made my payments. Here is the proof, but why is it not updated in my credit bureau? So it's about assisting users as well with that process of approaching and communicating to say that, okay, update their data as it's coming timelessly so that their scores are not erroneous and they're reflecting where they are and what they have paid thus far.
okay, and then
Mm.
how long does it usually take for a person to improve their credit score? When they come to you, they say, okay, I need to improve my credit score, I need a home loan, or I need to buy a car, or um, what are some realistic expectations people could have on the time of the credit score improving?
On the timeline. So I will be honest and say it's not just a magic, okay, tomorrow the credit score is clean. It is a
Mm,
process because there are other parties that need to be engaged. So I'd say 3 months on intervals of 3 months, 3 months, 6 months, a person would start seeing the changes on
mm.
their credit bureau because there is a law as well that is in place to say that people's information, this is the interval that it's the info, the data is supposed to be updated in.
Okay. And
Hmm.
you earlier you talked a lot about budgeting and that people actually don't budget correctly. So what did
Hmm.
you say is the most essential components of budgeting that people should have in their budgets? Everything that should it should be realistic, it should be sustainable. What do you
I think people's budgets are okay. They,
think?
they 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 list and include things that they're planning to spend on,
Mm-hmm.
but where they are missing it is the month end reconciliation. Because now if I'm too lazy to come in month end and say, okay, this is what I planned, but this is what happened, how am I going to measure the difference? The tool or budgeting itself is going to be of no value. So it's that due diligence on our side to say that, okay, this is what I budgeted, but do I actually care to go back to say, oh, okay, I spent 1,000 or 2,000 over than what I budgeted for, and what was that for? How can I better equip myself going forward to cater for this cost or to cover this cost so that I am not over budget? Because what happens is all these components are interlinked. If I go above my budget and I overspend, and there is another need that comes, I am going to be prone to going for a loan or to a loan shark to pay for those needs. So it's important for us to stick to understand, but to also do that reconciliation of, oh, okay, this is where the money went. And you can support your budgeting with your apps. I can see, like for me, I use Discovery. There's apps there that automate this entire thing to say, oh, okay, categorize your data, this is where your money went. There's applications like 22/7 from Old Mutual, where you can also link it with your bank account, and they can automate and give you those analytics. This is where your money went. Yeah.
Okay. And then why do you think people find it difficult to stick to their budgets? Because you mentioned a lot of people are like emotional spenders, or they want to show something to other people. But um, what do you think is the actual reasoning behind that?
And also, if I'm not literate or I don't know how to use or to engage with something really well, I'm going to be
Mm,
uncomfortable around it. I'm going to resist it. I'm going to withdraw from it because I really don't see the value or understand it. Yes, I just do it as a sake of, oh, there's a budget. So people tend to have fears around things that they don't truly understand, and they withdraw. So hence, I think also bridging that knowledge gap, empowering them that this is something that you can sit and do at home yourself. Is a message that needs to be clear, is a message that needs to be preached to people so that they understand that they can, and they can budget, and they can set goals and stick to them. They can achieve the financial prosperity that they are looking for. They can, with the right tools.
okay. And how do you educate people on that? What is your approach to go to people and to reach people and tell them, okay, this is how you should budget. That this is a budget. Um, this is why you need financial literacy, and then also get the message out to them.
So for us, we are 2 months years old. We are 2 months. We started the page last year, but we are 2 months. So we are trying
Mm,
to, get that message through advertising and
mm,
marketing streams like your website,
mm,
increasing our social presence, getting the word out via our podcasts, starting the conversations around these things that we need more knowledge about. So yeah, and there's other things that we are looking to do, like going on business exhibitions. Even many companies, Yaku, have programs called employment or employee wellness, where you can go to a certain company and say, okay, as part of your wellness program, we know that many middle class and working people are overly indebted. This is how
mm.
we can assist you. So there's many things that can be done around there to increase visibility, start the conversations, and to reach the targeted market.
Okay.
But above
And then
everything, my heart is for
okay,
families. For
okay,
families, yeah.
okay. And
Changing
then
families.
also in families, there's always I won't say always, but there's a lot of time is a conflict about money. I think the
Hmm.
I think in families, in households, the most argued thing is money. The most conflict comes from money. The most uh, how do you think people should approach that, and maybe uh, try to mitigate that effect, and the effect that money have on the individual, on relationships.
It's so much, I'm getting a bit emotional just speaking about it. It's so much. Because people get into marriages and people have two different parts or ways that they grew up and things that they have seen. You find that maybe the father of the house doesn't want to engage with the mom, so it's not a team thing. It's not a we thing. How do we combine our resources to better this thing? And there are many families that get broken or that get divorced as a result of mismanagement of finances. So it is a very integral part of families. And I've seen also how it can impact kids. You know, I remember while I was working to reverse my spiral, if let's say they say there's a camp and okay, your kid is going to feel it, they are going to the camp, but I can't go to the camp. And what that does now to the kid and how they grow up less confident. So there's many, many, many other things around it. Hence, I was saying, really, my heart is for families. Is for families because we are not taught family finance. We are not equipped, and we don't know how to partner with each other to come together and to climb this mountain. So yeah.
And how do you think people should approach finances in the general society, in the general, I would say, in their friend group? Um, Maybe talk about it. Maybe I wouldn't say maybe educate somebody, but make people more aware of the importance of financing and the importance of improving your finances, importance of budgeting. What do you think of that?
For me, I'd say identify the safe spaces, identify your people, your tribe, the places where you can be really vulnerable, where you don't have to feel like you're competing with your friends. Because if
Mm,
you're in a place where you are not feeling safe, you are not feeling seen, you feel like you have to pretend and be this someone that you're not, it's going to be hard for you to open up and have those conversations. And it's going to be easier for you to lie and say, yo, Yaku, I have it all together. But if you know this person I can be vulnerable around, I feel safe to share. And this is what I'm really going through. Guys, do you know of any places that can help us? Where can we get the education? How do we bridge this gap that we have? So identifying your people is really important. Those
okay.
safe
And
spaces.
the current economic climate in South Africa is tough. Inflation is high. The prime interest rates is high. Um, like everything is just getting. It's more expensive. It's more difficult to buy things, and I think the middle and lower class people are suffering. They are the people that is actually carrying all, I would say, all the problems on them. What kind of inspiration or motivation do you give those people in order to um, help them just to keep their head above water, just to help them get that extra step, just to keep moving forward?
I'd say to them, things are not always going to be the same. Things are not always going to be the same, but understand what's going on externally in the economy, how it affects you. I'll give you an example. There's a friend of mine, when they say the repo rates changed, that made like a 2,000 Rand difference on the bond repayment. So this is a time also when we have to look what we can do as families, other ways where we can get income, to balance things out. But yeah, I'll just encourage you to say, don't just also, sit and be passive and be like, I know it's the economy, it's the way things are. Have that fight in you to say that, no, I want to get this right. I don't want to be here. I know I deserve to be in a better place. How do I get there? How do we turn? Hence we are called turning point. How do I turn from this mess and go into the right path? So it's by making little changes. You'd be surprised on what you can do to change the entire situation.
Okay, and then what kind of tips would you provide for people that maybe wants to generate a second stream of income, maybe a bit of passive income? Um, what would you say is a good approach to take, or a good tip that you have that people can use to maybe get that few extra money in to get through the month, or to be able to put a bit aside?
Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to start. Don't fear, don't be afraid of judgments. Don't fear people. You know what you have inside of you. You understand your talents, you know yourself, you know your gifts. You know, Sisanda, you love baking. Then extend that gift to the people, to the community around you. And it's just a matter of starting. There's no amount of education, amount of motivation that can get you to start. You have to believe in yourself and to understand your design, that this is what you carry and this is what you were born to do. So if you love it and it's a hobby to you, it's not burdensome. I'm now not copying what Yaku is doing because Yaku is doing it, but no, I'm doing what I know I'm good at. Start with that and monetize that and turn it into extra income.
Okay. And then, what would you say is the next goal for Sisanda, and what is the next goal for Turning Point? What is the next thing you want to achieve, the next thing that you want to conquer?
Huh. I think for me, for now, it's also like a hobby thing, loving to help people. So, but the next thing for us is just to reaching our audience, understanding where they are, who they are, and also developing tools that are relevant, that are
Mm,
practical. For example, I give an example of a thought I had. There's so many people that are into loan sharks, and these loan sharks are not registered credit providers. So even when people do go for affordability, assessments with institutions, they wouldn't say, I have a loan with loan shark XYZ. So what are the things that we can do to help them? Oh, okay. Maybe we can partner with someone who gives loans, who are going to give them the loans at a slower interest rate, or who are going to give them just that one month payback, a holiday, so that they can regain and then they can pay back that money. So little things like that, you'd find that they make so much difference. So things that are practical, things that are tangible. So that's where we are, like tangible and practical tools that would really assist our people.
Okay. And then, where can people find you? Where can people reach out to you? Maybe get in contact with you. Maybe get a bit of help from you. Please tell me.
The best place to go to is to our Instagram page. We are Pocket Change underscore ZA. Pocket Change meaning that money must come back to your hard, to your pocket. It must come back to you and not reside everywhere else, but in your home. Pocket Change underscore ZA. There is a link in our bio where you can access our website and other contact related information.
Okay, great.
Yes.
So, to all the listeners and all the viewers, go out there. If you have any financial problems, any questions, if you need advice, if you need help, go to Sisanda. Ask her,
Mhm.
get help and get out of the struggle, get out of the rat race, and go like them, follow them, subscribe and like this video as well.
Yes.
Okay, I think then I'm going to stop the video. Okay.